Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving deep, pun intended, into the world of coral reefs. You know, we call them the rainforests of the sea for a reason. They are absolutely teeming with life. But I bet you'd be shocked if I told you just how tiny a space they occupy in our vast oceans. So let's get right into it.
So just take a second and guess. What percentage of the entire ocean floor do you think is covered by shallow coral reefs? The answer is less than 0.1%. It's kind of mind-blowing, right? Such a tiny footprint for one of the most famous and critical ecosystems on the planet.
And here's where you'll find them. You can see on this map they're all clustered in this warm tropical belt right around the Earth's middle. And even though their global footprint is so small, their impact is just massive, supporting incredible biodiversity and so many coastal communities. But, and this is the big but, this fragile kingdom is in serious trouble. To really understand what's going on today, we need to rewind the clock a little bit. Because you see, the story of our coral reefs over the past couple of decades has been a real roller coaster, with these incredible highs and, unfortunately, some devastating lows. Okay, so the story really kicks off in 1998. There was this huge bleaching event that just wiped out about 8% of the world's coral. A total disaster. But then something amazing happened. By 2009, the reefs had shown this incredible resilience. They were bouncing back. It really felt like a hopeful recovery story. That hope, though, it didn't last. A major study that wrapped up in 2018 showed that something had gone horribly wrong.
And here's the number that just stops you in your tracks. Between 2009 and 2018, the world lost 14% of its coral reefs. 14%. We're talking about an area roughly half the size of Madagascar. Just gone. In less than a decade. The recovery we saw before, it didn't just stop, it slammed into reverse and turned into this terrifyingly steep decline.
So this just begs the question, right? What happened? What was the big change? Why did the reefs suddenly stop bouncing back and start disappearing so fast? Well, scientists have been digging into this, trying to find the main culprit behind this whole thing. And the answer, when you look at all the data, is pretty clear. The number one cause, the main driver, is believed to be the constant, recurring stress from rising sea surface temperatures. That extra heat in the water puts enormous pressure on the coral, and that's what leads to the massive coral bleaching events we keep hearing about.
But here's the thing. It's not just the heat. You've got to think of the rising temperatures as the main attacker, the one that's weakening the reef's defenses. But as soon as those defenses are down, a whole bunch of other local threats pile on, making a terrible situation even worse and basically killing any chance of recovery. So on top of that heat stress, you've got diseases spreading through the weakened coral. You have huge infestations of these coral-eating crown-of-thorns starfish. You've got pollution and dirt running off from the land that literally smothers the reef. And of course, destructive fishing practices that just tear the whole structure apart. It's a battle on all fronts.
So when a reef is just getting hammered constantly by the heat and all these other local problems, it eventually just loses the ability to fight back. The coral dies. But you know, nature hates a vacuum. Something else is always ready to move in. And that leads to this fundamental and often permanent change in the entire ecosystem. It's a really simple question, but it's a profound one. When the little animals that build this incredible underwater city are gone, who moves into the empty neighborhood? Well, scientists have a name for this. It's called a regime shift. And this isn't just a minor tweak. It's a complete, fundamental flip. The whole system changes from one state to another. And in this case, that vibrant, complex coral kingdom gets replaced by a much simpler, sludgier system that's just dominated by algae.
And the difference is just it's night and day. On one side, you have that healthy reef. It's a complex, three-dimensional city built by hard corals, buzzing with thousands of different species. But on the other side, after a regime shift, it's a system overgrown with algae. The whole structure is flattened, biodiversity absolutely plummets, and the reef basically loses its ability to ever bounce back. And listen, this isn't some far-off theoretical problem. It is happening right now. This quote points out that this algal takeover is already really bad in places like South Asia and the Middle East. These are the areas where the local human impacts are so intense that the reefs just can't recover, even when water temperatures are okay for a while.
Which leaves us with one last really big question to think about. When a vibrant, complex ecosystem like a coral reef flips into a simple patch of algae, what is it that we truly lose? It's more than just the color and the fish. What services, what protection, what potential just vanishes.